Wicki, Wicki, Wacky, the Vicki, Wicki, Wacky Jackson Show! I would like to show you each week one of my songs or one of my paintings. I don't know why. And this is this week's painting. Based on a Bible verse. Enjoy the show!
I take it to heart sincerely that I'm standing on the shoulders of the men and women that were pioneers of this industry. Before it was an industry. It was like, you got a guitar, I got a van, let's go! Woohoo! You know? And that to me is the spirit that I grew up with.
Gonna shoot me down, 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 down.
I have to tell you about something exciting that happened to me this week. I got to meet the 3 original members of the first Christian rock band ever. Do you know who they are? Their name rhymes with Dove Glong. They started in California, Chuck Smith's church. Rumor has it that this group of hippies with long hair walked into a Calvary Chapel church in California, and Chuck Smith was preaching, and they decided to follow Jesus. And they wrote some songs about it, and they went to Chuck and they said, can we show you our songs? And Chuck said, sure. And he loved their songs, and he said, hey, can you play tonight for the youth group? And they said, oh, well, one of our band members is in jail right now for pot, but he gets out at noon, so I think we can make it. And I just love that story, and it's on YouTube. And anyway, I got to meet these guys who were pioneers in the Christian music industry because of Michelle Pillar and Ron Strand, and I want to share them with you. It's so awesome, and their music is so beautiful. And so here they are.
Parents, especially when my dad got saved in '79, Love Song and Second Chapter of Acts and Evie and Larry Norman and Keith Green. And
did you grow up in?
My brother was born in San Diego. My dad finished seminary in Santee. Hi.
Okay, right there. Keep talking. Keep talking.
She's trying to get you in the way.
Oh, you're doing video.
Get in the sun.
And so yeah, I did 3 records there, and one in I gotta get my son on my face. Huntington Beach. Anyway, traveled there a lot. Yeah. So we lived there when I was in college for 3 summers, and we lived in San Diego for 3 years. So Southern California is in my blood. Yeah. And Love Song was
you can get back
was
in
thank you.
Have you met the guys yet?
I've met Tommy, but I don't think he'll remember me. But
It was the timing was just right because it was like the first for many. It was the first one they ever got to hear as a contemporary Christian music.
totally. Yeah.
So it did have a lot of influence on a lot of people back then. It's amazing as we put this thing together, how many of the artists that are pretty big now, Michael W. Smith and Stephen Curtis Chapman, we didn't realize it, but they were like cutting their teeth on an album.
Yeah.
You kind of go, oh, that's pretty cool, you know?
Yeah. And I was cutting my teeth primarily on Stephen and Michael.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, and
second generation. Yeah.
Second generations, and so it's fun to be able to have. My dad always talks about the legacy, and you have multiple generations. We were talking about this morning, and so anyway, you have the Love Song Empire Ministry has your name on a brick in my foundation. So, thank you for helping me stand on. Yeah,
you're welcome. Thank you. It's our pleasure.
It's
always
honored.
consider an honor.
Oh, amen. Yeah, and being a Southern California boy myself, it's kind of like I felt like I was a little bit there. Well, my brother and I, we lived in San Diego for.
Exactly. So you said was my friend, was he a spiritual seeker?
Yeah, because the key was for me that when I wasn't particularly a spiritual seeker up until, and I don't want to falsely attribute anything to drugs, but it was the fact that I took LSD that got me interested in something more than just the world around me. Then, of course, because of the climate of the 60s, where everybody, George Harrison.
Go ahead.
So
Well,
because
LSD.
it got me kind of interested in something beyond this world, because there's a false spirituality that happens when you take LSD that you interpret, oh man, I'm in the cosmos, but there is an element of a certain amount of relative truth to it, okay? So it got me thinking there's something beyond this world, there's life after death, but I need to find that. So then, of course, in the 60s, we had all these voices. George Harrison, Become a Hindu, Timothy Leary, this, that, the Urantia book. I don't know if you know about all these things. So I started digging into all this stuff, and at the same time, reading the Bible. And the Bible kept coming out a winner. You know, I'd go, yeah, I don't know about all this levels of, you know, you achieve this, and then one day you get nirvana, and only a few people ever achieve that. That doesn't sound right. So I kept kind of narrowing it down, if you will, to the Bible. Now, this is a period of about 3-4 years. We actually, at one point, moved to Hawaii because we thought the New Jerusalem was going to come on the island of Kauai, and that we were the 12 disciples reincarnated. So I went through all of these different phases over, I say, a period of 2 or 3 years. Finally wound up back in Laguna Beach in a commune with a bunch of music guys that were also spiritual seekers. And we started to hear about Calvary Chapel. Well, I wasn't interested particularly in Christianity, but there was so much activity, so much word about it, that I thought, you know, these hippies are going to this place called Calvary Chapel. I ought to at least check into it as an open-minded seeker. So one night I went up there, and God got a hold of my heart, you know, and it had nothing really to do with even the sermon, because I don't even remember who preached or what they preached, but I just remember God got a hold of me. I sat in the back row so I could get out of there if I didn't like it. And I made kind of a deal with God. They had an altar call, but I didn't go to the front. I said, this seems real to me, and if this is the ultimate answer, I'm here for the duration, but if it's just a stepping stone to the next level or whatever, you're big enough, God, you can get me out of it. Well, that was 50 years ago now, so and I never looked back. So then our band started playing at Calvary Chapel, and the rest, as we say, is history.
Thank you so much for telling me that.
Little country church on the edge of town. People coming every day from miles around, for meetings and for Sunday school.
Love song.
Yeah, you were.
And it's very plain to see it's not the way it used to be. Preacher isn't talking about religion no more. He just wants to praise the Lord. People ought to
Little Country Church, that's my favorite song because that's what I grew up with. And there's something special that happens when you simply take a leap of faith with whatever you have and watch the Lord provide for you. Proverbs 22:6. Raise up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they won't turn from it. Proverbs 22:6. And I feel like the artists that went before us did that. They raised us up. They taught us the way we should go. And it was very simple. It was, hey, Jesus can be trusted. He really walked the earth. You can believe the Bible from cover to cover. And you can watch the Spirit of God move if you let Him. And I let Him when I was a kid by listening to Love Song, and Keith Green, and Petra, and Phil Keaggy, and Randy Stonehill, and Larry Norman, and Second Chapters Vax, and Honey Tree, and Evie, and Stephen Chris Chapman, and some of those people I'm friends with now, and I'm actually serving myself, helping them do their ministries. And that's what it is. Pass the torch. Pick it up. just like Jesus says, carry your cross.